Hey Zero Pups, ready for a garden update? Alrighty, it's Friday, June 13th. Hey Zero Pups, we're gonna do a garden update, so no worries. Alright, yeah, Friday, June 13th, 2025, and time for a garden update. So I've got a bunch of tomatoes going. I need to bring these inside, but I need to separate the ones that have split. There's a bunch of ones that have split. I didn't want to bring them inside because they're attracting flies. So I have to get rid of all the ones like these, and notice how many flies just flew out. I'll take care of that in a little while. But I have a bunch of coriander I've harvested. There's all my garlic for the season right now. I have a ton of little seedlings over here that I'm going to have to start planting. So there's lots of marigold, catnip, eggplant, basil, tomatoes, peppers, and a few other things over here. Lots of other random plants over here. I bought a couple crepe myrtles the other day, but they were like 3 plants in 1 bucket. So I wasn't sure, because I felt they were too crowded in this tiny bucket, so I was going to need to transplant it. But what I did with them, I bought 2 of those buckets, so I transplanted one, and they both had 3 of them, so I split up the 3 and I've transplanted them, and it's like a ruthless, tear up the roots transplant, but it looks like they're doing okay. One thing I'll notice over here is this is just bag dirt, not really soil. I mean, there's some bugs in here, but it's just you see the granularity that comes from bag dirt in here versus this one being soil. And although you don't see them too much right now, this is just pure compost from the garden at the bottom of the compost pile. And there's tons and tons of bugs and stuff in here. So I usually mix these up 2 together when I'm planting stuff, so it's half bag dirt, half compost. Over here, I'll just do a quick walkthrough of these guys because it's just kind of a section of all sorts of plants. But I have the other 2 crepe myrtles that I separated with a transplant, and they seem to be doing okay. So a ruthless rip not really try to rip them apart. It took me a while to split up the root systems for 3 crepe myrtles in one thing, but it worked. So it looks like they're going to survive, and then I'll buy 2 buckets of crepe myrtles and have 6 crepe myrtles to plant, and I'm going to plant them maybe in the front yard and down this section. Over here, lots of herbs. Need to pick out some weeds and fill in the rest of the pots over here. But flowers, lots and lots of basil, catnip, lemon balm, parsley, some other things. And yeah, I've just got a lot of work to do over here. But this isn't really the focus anyways, so I'm just going to transplant this guy very shortly. Not much in the mushroom department right now. All these guys are kind of old, so they're spent. I'll use these for compost soon. I have tons of leaves I need to shred. So over here is my giant leaf pile. So I'm gonna basically start bucketing up all the centerpiece, but I have more leaves which I mix with coffee and the mushroom compost blocks and make my base compost mixture. And I also use as a top dressing mulch for the garden, and I need to add a lot of it to buckets to either use for my compost pile or mulch. This section does have some mushrooms growing, so hopefully today I'll pick a few of these guys. Mushrooms going over here. I accidentally emptied this out the other day. I was like, let me empty out a little bit of it so it'll get fresh rain, then empty out the whole thing. Haven't filled it up completely, but my hops are doing really good. It's actually probably time to pick them. My sage doesn't look the best. There's some coriander I need to pick here. I probably need to throw down some more mulch before it gets hot, because usually I'll do some type of shade cloth covering the top above the plants, but let these guys go. But definitely need to pick some hops here shortly. This section, squash and cucumber and melons got their butts kicked by squash bugs. I vacuumed up most of them, but they are always attracted to squash. So I'll set one out and then capture them, and then I'm going to replant. I need to add more mulch over here, but my whole squash section is basically decimated. All this was giant squash plants when they're gone. Have a lot of weeds I need to pick. We'll have to rip out some of these sunflowers because there's sunflowers everywhere. Keep on moving. So over here is my strawberry section. I think these are Eversweet strawberries, but basically last year they exploded and made a whole strawberry patch, which I've been kind of wanting a strawberry patch for a while. There are a bunch of tiny little strawberries scattered about, so I have to find them and pick them and get them before the bugs do. That one's a little too early. That one looks okay. Would like to be more red, but bugs will get it when they're really red. And there's more in here, but I'm not going to spend all the time picking them because that'll take a few minutes and not on the video. One strawberry, not too sweet on that one. Zora Pop bask in the shade. I like the sunflowers, they're good for the shade. Lost a lot of the plants over here. I had all my cucumbers. I missed a few, but then squash bugs got to them. After they kill the squash, they go for cucumbers. Tons of what is it? Blah blah blah. Sunflowers. This was covered in squash bugs yesterday on this melon, but now it's not because I vacuumed them all, and they have now been like, what happened? Tons of tomatoes, tons of tomatillos. My whole pepper section's back here. Lots of marigolds. All this section is doing really well. The sunflowers are over 10 feet tall, I think. So I let one section go for sunflowers, but I do have to knock down the leaves every now and then. And I might wrap them up because I hate them hanging over. Once they start hanging into my area where I have to walk and avoid them or block paths, that's when I chop them down. I like sunflowers, but they will grow anywhere and everywhere in the garden. So I don't have to keep them in the actual garden. So if I need to rip them up, they get no mercy because I prefer tomatoes over sunflowers when it comes to what they produce. And I can grow sunflowers anywhere else. Anyways, tomatoes are doing good. They've been getting their butts kicked by spider mites, so I need to do more work on the spider mite side. There's some nice orange cherries. There's a few other tomatoes. I'll pick a few here in a few. Let me see, I'll grab this guy, because these just look, eat me. Bunch of tomatoes over there. Tons and tons of tomatoes, so I already had 2 boxes full. Peppers galore. Where is it? Yeah. There's like giant peppers right there. So my phone's starting to get hot, so let me get out of the sun, but I need to go through and pick all the peppers. I'll usually let them turn red if I can. One of the next things too is compost. I have some potatoes growing in here. Most of the potatoes I grew this year were down this aisle, and they're ready to pick. I'm rotating my compost. Need to rotate this one over to here because I'm going to fill that one and these 2 over here. This is pure compost down here, like the best soil you can have, but I might leave it here so the bugs can just walk up into the compost pile. It says my phone's getting too hot, so let me get out of the sun. Anyways, all right, so compost will keep me busy for a minute. I got this giant pile that's been a catch-all, but I need to move them into those buckets and rotate. And then that silver bucket is all my dead plants I've been picking out of the garden and weeds. I try to break those down in like a weed bucket way before I put them into this one, then they move in there. But for now, all my shredded leaf mulch at the back there is going to get mixed in with all the stuff from here and any yard trimmings or anything else, and then start 2 new compost piles to build the dirt for next year. This section, I still have a little bit more to plant. I have a lot of weeds to pick. Lots of random tomatoes and marigolds and basil growing everywhere along with tomatillos. There's some dill. I have some ginger sprouting up. This little guy is ginger. There's the corn, some other random stuff, but I'm just trying to fill in the blanks here shortly. I have all those extra plants, so I'm picking out sunflowers and going to replace them with like tomatoes and other things. So lots of stuff going on in this section. Lots of space to still do. And then there's potatoes that are all right over here. So this like aisle right here is all potatoes, and they're all falling over. I can see a potato right at the top, so I need to go ahead and pick those guys and see how many potatoes I have. But yeah, catnip and asparagus is doing good. This whole section is just catnip and asparagus. I don't have to do hardly anything to it. The cats take care of it. I rip out weeds as needed, but there's not way too much growing. Catnip explodes in every direction, so I can pick out seedlings out of here. But cats love it, so that's one of the goals. Mushrooms over here, not much happening either, so not going to worry about those guys too much. Just trying to get everything figured out. I'll pick these potatoes are going a little bit longer. These guys aren't dead like those guys over there. So I will see how they are, and then all my herbs and other stuff is good. But otherwise, yeah, tomatoes are doing great. Lost all my squash. Cucumbers, I lost all those guys. Cantaloupes, I might have some. I'll throw out more seeds soon and keep moving, ripping out a lot of weeds, adding extra mulch and other stuff. But that is the current garden update. Like, it's been a minute since I did my last one, so I will keep moving. But anyways, got plenty to do, and it's kind of hot already. So other news, I mean, we got a lot of rain, so everything went crazy. I mean, you can tell by the sunflowers. But now it's starting to get hot. So next up will be start to plan for my shade canopy. I might have to take out more sunflowers because they're going to exceed the height of it, and I'm not going to want to work around them. I will remove them if I have to. I'll have plenty elsewhere. So anyways, that's the garden. So I'll post back more later.